Yes,
Hello and
Professor.
welcome to the first edition of FacConnect. This is Nirvan, one of the members of MediaCell of IIM Ahmedabad. I have with me Shantanu, who is also going to be a co-moderator for this panel. And we have with us today Professor Dheeraj Sharma, who is a faculty in the marketing area at IIM Ahmedabad. A very warm welcome to you, Professor Sharma, and thanks a lot for joining us. I would like to start off with a little introduction about Professor Sharma. So Dr. Sharma earned his doctoral degree. Professor Sharma, and thanks a lot for joining us. I would like to start off with a little introduction about Professor Sharma. So Dr. Sharma earned his doctoral degree. I'm receiving a lot of static. Can you hear this? Yeah. So Dr. Sharma earned his doctoral degree with major in marketing and a minor in psychology and quant analysis from Louisiana Tech University in USA. He is an American Marketing Association Doctoral Consortium Fellow and National Conference of Sales Management Doctoral Fellow. He also has been in the past an associate editor of the Journal of Marketing Channels. He's also the past editor of the Academy of Marketing Science Proceedings. He's an active member of Academy of Marketing Science, Society of Marketing Advances, American Marketing Association, and World Marketing Congress. With that introduction about Professor Sharma, I would request you guys to introduce yourselves one by one. So, if we can start with Aishwarya.
Yeah, okay. I'm Aishwarya. I'm from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and I just finished my engineering in 2013. And I'm just finding my roots in entrepreneurship, and quite confused on where to start and how to start. And I'm just thankful that people have selected me for this station, and I'm looking forward for it.
Okay, can we have Ankur?
Yeah, hi, this is Ankur Begwani here. I'm from Calcutta and I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I qualified in May 2012 and did a job in East Answering Young for 6 months and now I'm preparing for CAT this year. I quit the job just to get into my dream of IIM Ahmedabad or any other IIM in India. That's the whole thing about and this edition of Fact Connect and I got through the information through a newspaper article which found out was very enthusiastic for me as it would be a chance to meet the faculty member. So this is how it is and this is how I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankur. Moving on to Mayank, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Mayank Shah, and I am from Mumbai. I am a software engineer by education and profession, and I have also done my postgraduate certificate in business management from Jamshedpur. And I am deeply interested in industry management and marketing. So that is why I continue to part of the contest and got through my sheets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayank. Can we have Shivam?
Good morning, I'm Shivang from St. Xavier's College, Jaipur, and I'm presently pursuing my BCom final year, and also I'm a CAT aspirant. Hope to make it to one of the top IIMs next year.
Thank you. Can we have Arun next for the introduction, please? Arun, we are getting a lot of static from your end, Arun. We are getting a lot of static from your end.
Hello. Can you people hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, carry on with your introduction, please.
Yeah, my name is Arun, and I work towards a company as a manufacturing engineer. And I plan to pursue my MBA in supply chain management and operation. And I wanted to be a part of FacConnect because it gives me an opportunity to interact with the countries.
Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, okay. Can I just start off with my questions?
Yeah, yeah.
And hi, sir. This is Aishwarya. And it's been a great dream for me, and it feels good to see the red bricks behind you. It's kind of an address for IIM Ahmedabad. I mean, when I just look into pictures of IIM Ahmedabad, thing that comes is this.
Cannot hear.
Coming to my
The
question.
voice is cracking.
Aishwarya, your voice is cracking. It's not audible.
Okay, can I just type my questions over the chat window?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah, okay. I'll just try asking. Is this social media
no,
marketing?
no, Ashwarya.
Yeah, okay.
Why don't you reduce your mic volume a little bit, and so we can talk.
Yeah, sure.
Just say your question now. I can hear you when you are a little bit away from your mic. I can hear you clearly. So say your question.
Okay, I'll just try.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. My question is this: is social media marketing making entrepreneurs less creative? It is not
Put
that.
the volume off. Yeah, social media marketing.
Is it making entrepreneurs less creative? I mean, it is. Is it making them little lazy, or is it a great advantage to them? Is it like, I mean, when I just thought of my own startup, I just thought, okay, I will just create a basic thing and the rest thing will be taken care. But I think that is not the case. I have to do some market research before I can take this an entrepreneurial venture, and I have to do many things. And I just want to, talk about one case of Big Fund. It's Big Fund is an bubble gum company. It was famous in Chennai. It took 80% of the market share in between 90s and 2000. It came up with one creative idea of it. I mean, the major target was of children of 4 to 10 years. So it came up with a creative idea of having tattoos in it. And after from 5 years of its introduction, it just marketing the strategy, and it started providing cricket cards where you can know the where children will start collecting those
Ashwarya,
cards. Yeah,
I think your question, if I'm getting the question right,
yeah,
the question is that is social media making marketers lazy? Am I correct?
and also less creative. It is like
And
the
less
time.
creative.
Yeah,
I actually beg to differ. First, I believe social media is actually making marketers more active. You see, today people post almost every hour, if not every minute, of their lives on social media.
yeah,
It takes hours before a product failure or a product success is communicated online, reaching millions of users in a matter of minutes and hours.
yeah,
Because of its far-reaching, consequences, and because of its reach, I believe that marketers have to be more active and prudent in the use of social media, because any statement, any frivolous comment can result in significant damage to the company's reputation and possibly to the product or services that are being marketed. So it is my view that the social media is actually making people more active. Also, it is making people more creative because it is one more tool. So it is not everything and anything. Even today, most companies at large have social media budgets in India of less than 5%, which is nothing compared to the 95% which is allocated to the other mediums. Consequently, I believe that people who are indulging in social media would have to be more creative to have a demonstrable impact of whatever marketing or promotional activities that are doing online using social media websites.
Aishwarya, does it answer your question?
yeah. And I have one more last question. Can I?
Sure,
Sure,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, and I have this view that it is like widening the gap between various society. I mean, various parts of the society. It's like, earlier the society was divided based on caste, and now based on the economy. And in future, it will be like some sort of section.
I'm sorry, in future it will be Ashwarya?
I think Aishwarya got disconnected due to a network problem at her end. Okay, she's joined back. Hi, Aishwarya. Okay, while she is back in, I would request anybody else to go ahead.
I think I have a question from Ankur Bagnani.
Hello.
Ankur, I have your question. The question is, with the advent of social media marketing, this is a major part of advertising costs nowadays. No, it is not. It is very small part of advertising costs. What are the ways in which companies try to gouge the matching of advertising costs with the revenue earned from social marketing? As a matter of fact, Ankur, that is the beauty of social media marketing, is that the costs are minimal. It is not, you do not require, I mean, for instance, if you are marketing on television, you have to pay by the slot, and it could be several lakhs of rupees per slot, depending on the type of television programming and broadcasting. Um, so it is, the cost is, even at newspaper advertisement, a one-page newspaper ad in a leading newspaper like Times of India or Indian Express, Hindu, any of these news, it could cost several lakhs. So, however, in terms of social media, there's no cost actually. It is
So,
making up very, very small percentage of the advertising cost today.
can
Now,
can
where is
can
the
I can
cost?
I
Where is the
can I
cost? The
can I
cost
can I?
is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Go on, go on. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
So
Ankur, go ahead.
can I add a point to it? I mean, I wanted to ask something. I guess I put it somewhere wrong right here. The question was whether how to gauge the advantages of social media marketing when it comes to numbers. I mean, I mean, the basic question would be how will we evaluate the benefits out of it when it comes to balance sheet numbers? The advantages. I mean, can it be done? Because that's, I guess that's an abstract cost. We cannot see it. If I'm not wrong, uh, printing costs or the advertisement costs in newspapers, televisions can be spotted out, but media costs is some. I mean, social media might be or might. That is what I wanted to ask. Can it be gauged, or can it be evaluated, or can it be measured
It
in
is
a
already
more factual manner?
It is already
Yeah.
getting gauged, gouged, Ankur.
Okay.
The costs associated with social media projects are laid out.
Okay.
It is a high personnel cost. It is
Okay.
less of a medium cost. It is the people who engage in social media on behalf of companies. They're a tremendous expense. And the
Okay.
outcomes are measured also in many different ways. Companies measure them as per the number of hits, number and types of comments. There are qualitative studies now being done doing within case and cross case matrices to find out common themes which are resonated on the comments which are associated. There is a whole string of research over the last 15 years on reviews which has developed. There is also a research now which is promulgated on development of profiles. So all of these are indicators of the influence of whatever social media marketing project that you engage in. Now, where the problem is that most companies do not set out clear objectives for what the social media marketing campaign is going to do for them. What is happening today is that social media marketing campaigns essentially are geared towards providing the biggest exposure to products and services. Now, exposure does not necessarily mean positive or negative. One cannot, when you're saying exposure, positive and negative feedback both is envisaged in exposure. However, if the companies decide to set out clear objective as to what is the segment that I want, what is the customer profile which I want to reach, and if I am reaching that customer profile, what is the desired outcome that I'm seeking? Is it a comment from them, which could be an indicator to intent to consume, or is it the time spent on that particular social networking website, which again goes on to demonstrate the level of engagement that person has with that product or service. So it is the measurability is not a question, it is the setting of objectives as to what you would like to measure, which is the bigger question.
Okay. Well,
Ankur, does that answer your question?
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, can we have the next question, please?
Yes, good morning, Professor. This is Mayank here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Professor, when we talk about social media, generally we talk in the context of B2C companies which directly cater to people like us. For example, say a car manufacturer or a FMCG company. But how applicable is the social media platform on a B2B type of business? For example, say a IT manufacturer, IT services company, or a say a cement manufacturer. Is it applicable there, or is it completely irrelevant for such companies?
Uh, Mayank, right? Mayank, that's a very good question first. Uh, I do not know specifically what has the social media contributed to the cement industry. But if I take your question as B2B versus B2C, do you believe that Facebook is a business? Yes, it's a business. Am I correct, man?
Yes, it is.
So do you believe General Motors is a business?
Yes, it is a business. But directly caters
So
to consumers.
every business will cater to consumers
I
in one
mean,
way or the other.
I mean, to people like us,
So General Motors and Facebook had a relationship which they have recently severed. Again, relating back to the original question which somebody asked right now, is that social media was not contributing as much as was anticipated by General Motors. However, having said that, business to business marketing is fundamental now to the success of social media. There are online portals which already exist, like Covisint, Covisint. Covisint, it's an exchange platform for all automobile industries, all participants in automobile industry. So my question is that while it might appear to us that the users of social media are individuals, but I must also tell you that the developers and the decision makers of companies are also individuals. So everything boils down to individuals.
yes, that's right.
So business to business marketing too. At the end of the day, it's an individual who is making a decision. The concept of service recovery, product failure, is now widely researched in the domain of social media and how social media can allow companies to leverage and allow companies to have a better product failure recovery, service recovery, expedite and augment diffusion of innovation of both industrial as well as consumer products.
Okay, right. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Aishwarya, you had a question in mind when you dropped off. Would you want to
Yeah,
ask that?
yeah. It's like is social media marketing is it sectioning people? I mean, and the internet users and the non-internet users, and is providing quality only to the internet users and the non-internet users. That which forms the major part of India. Which I mean, is it preventing from getting that quality?
Aishwarya, I think you are answering your own question, first of all. I think this is a fact that social media today, as it is defined, stands on the sharing of ideology and technology. So if you remove any one of them, it does ceases to become social media. So, of course, a person has to be technologically enabled. I believe you can also ask the same question to newspapers. Are they segregating people who are newspaper readers versus non-newspaper readers? You can also ask them the question: are they against the nearly 35% of the Indian population which does not read, which is illiterate? You can also answer the same question to nearly 80% of the Indian population, which does not watch television even today, or does not watch at least the I should say cable television. So these are all attempts to reach out to the biggest number. However, without offering defense of the social media, I believe with the proliferation of cellular phones and subsequently with the proliferation of smartphones in India today, where cheaper smartphones are getting available, it has actually put social media in the hands of people. Its penetration is actually going to be bigger and faster than television because the costs associated are far, far lower compared to television. So, in my view, I believe if you were to draw parallels, it is more inclusive than exclusive.
Personally, I
But
thought that was a very good answer. Yeah, Aishwarya, please carry on.
hello.
Please carry on with your question.
Yeah, sir. But yeah, sir, as you said, the smartphone has made social media more reachable. But will be there a time where marketing is done wholly on social media and the rest is not at all? I mean, it's not at all being informed about the products that come into market. Will be there a time? I mean, I'm just like asking you to forecast. Will be there a time?
The answer to that is that I don't see that happening in my lifetime. And my lifetime, I don't know, maybe I would like to live long, so I think not happening in the next 50 years. Why? I'll give you an illustration. There was a film called Back to the Future, which was made in 1985, and it talked about a person who had built a time machine, a professor. So you have to first of all watch all the films which have professors. This professor builds a time machine, and he puts a student and puts a date of November 15th, 2015, and the person enters 2015. That was 30 years ago. And they show that there were no malls. Everything was in the air. I mean, you could just wave your hand and get a Pepsi. And, there was no skateboard. There was a hoverboard. It was flying. Cars were flying. So, Ashwarya, today it's 2013. And realistically speaking, I'm only 2 years away from that date. Neither are the malls dead, nor is the Pepsi available in the air, neither is there a hoverboard, nor the cars are flying. So my point is, technology cannot take away the human touch. Human desire to interact, human desire to have an interface. We are different from other species of animals where our desire, aphilia, is very important, the sense of belongingness. So consequently, I believe while social media will continue to increase in its utilization by marketers, but it will not be a replacement for the other forms of, I should say, platforms for marketing communication.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Shivam,
Aishwarya. Thank you.
Shivam, we haven't heard from you. If you would like to ask a question.
Yes, sir. Sir, good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Well, sir, my question is what will be the impact of Facebook on marketing and e-commerce in the coming days? Like we have seen that Google completely changed the search engine scenario a few years back. So is Facebook going to do something like that?
There is always a danger when you have a product like Facebook. What is the fine line that you draw between an interactional platform and a commercial website? It's a very, very fine line. While Facebook offers tremendous potential to reach out to millions of customers, millions of people worldwide, um, it also offers a significant challenge in keeping, in the words of Mark Zuckerberg, the coolness of Facebook. Now you see how quickly the platform called Orkut faded away, and how quickly another platform called Pinterest is gaining ground. So the point is that consumers are very fickle. Consumers like novelty, consumers like privacy, consumers hate commercialization. While for the sustenance of Facebook as a company, commercialization is necessary, but I do not anticipate Facebook attempting to do a complete revolution of marketing because by doing so, they will endanger the very essence of being Facebook, which is you, people like you who are the users.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, other questions, please. Arun, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, can you quickly ask your question?
Yeah, I had actually typed my question and sent. That is, how small businesses are they at an advantage or disadvantage of using social media network when compared to the other big companies which have a better online presence?
That's
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I think actually there's a problem at our end. The professor got disconnected. Just wait a second. We are trying to reconnect.
Sure.
I think you have disconnected. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, request you
Okay.
all to mute your microphones.
If you'll put your microphones on mute, then men can get the answer. So, as I was saying, if you set out your objectives and if you're able to communicate the value contained in your product and service, the best platform and actually the biggest lever for small businesses is social media. I can assure you that there are numerous successful programs which have been launched in last several years using social media as the backbone for marketing communication. I can tell you not only NGOs but commercial enterprises. One of our students, I can only remember one because I had assisted him in his marketing campaign. One of our students graduated about 4 years ago, set up a G Auto, which is a network of close to 1,000 auto rickshaws now in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, Baroda, and a couple of other cities. By virtue of which you have a phone number which you call, and the auto rickshaw will come exactly. That's the G Auto. I'm talking about G Auto network. G Auto today provides not only revenues in excess of 5 crores to this person, but also an insurance coverage to all the drivers of auto rickshaws, excellent service to people who are the users of auto rickshaw. These people will give you change even up to 1 or 2 rupees because their requirement is they're supposed to give you everything. They go by the meter. They're honest. They provide the best service. So my point is that his reach was through social media. He never put a single advertisement on in a newspaper, or did not advertise on television or the radio. Later on, I think he used some FM radio a little bit to reach out to people. But the beginning and the thirst of his entire success of this small business, which started from zero to a business of in excess of 5 crores today in a span of 3 or 4 years, is mostly laden on riding on the back of social media. So to answer your question, I believe social media provides tremendous opportunities for small businesses to create awareness, interest, desire, and action, the AIDA of marketing.
Okay, we have time only for one last question. So I would request either one of Ankur or Mayank if they have a question in mind to ask.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in case of word of mouth, I've read about a study in which if a person has a positive experience with the service or a product, he generally goes and tells one person. But in case of a negative experience, he generally goes and tells 11 people. So, are there any such statistics or study done in case of social media? Because we always keep talking about the positives about social media, how it helps the company, but at the same time, it can also have a backlash in case a person doesn't have a good experience with the product.
Ankur, first I must offer you, I think that is a speculation. It's not 1 is to 11, maybe, a little bit more. You're right that people tend to complain. There is a whole stream of research on complaint behavior, a whole stream on why people and how people complain. And so that is one. Number two, today there is a whole body of research on positive and negative reviews. Uh, Research clearly indicates that people tend to overvalue the negative reviews than the positive reviews. Because when you're looking at reviews, people tend to skip the positive ones and want to know what is wrong with it. They go to the negative reviews directly. However, that is where the strength of now social media has taken them to the B2B platform, where today you have professional companies which manage product failures for companies online. Research has gone so much to the depth of this that people today have researched on how abstract and how concrete the communication is in a review, and what is the impact of abstract versus concrete communication. So for instance, when you say this product sucks, it's very, very abstract. When you say this product's battery fails to live up to 10 hours as was communicated, and it's a concrete communication. There's a whole stream of research on this, and companies are using concrete communication to overcome the product failures, which are overemphasized usually both by consumers and by the reviewers. So good question, and I hope I answered it.
Just to add an example on this point is the TripAdvisor ratings, which generally people use a lot before planning their vacations. Yeah, thank you.
So they are more negative, people go with negative. People want to find out. So I'll tell you something. You know how companies recover. You put something parallel to it. The companies will put two ratings, one very abstract, one very concrete, both positive. And companies are engaging actively in providing factual information, which then allows a person to gauge as to what to do. So yes, you're right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ankur, if you can make your question really short, we can squeeze it in. Just ask a very pointed question. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Can you make your question very short? We can take it then.
So I just wanted to ask, which platform do you think will be a runaway advantage given the dynamics of uh, the right field or the stretch of the social media marketing and the specific reason, if any?
Ankur, what do you mean platform? Are you telling
I
me
mean,
platform within
platform,
social media?
yeah, platform within social media.
For instance, can you give me what is in your
Facebook,
mind?
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, what else?
I don't believe one can answer that question, but as it stands today, I believe the biggest reach is afforded by Facebook, and Facebook is gaining popularity, but there is a tough competition coming from Pinterest. Also, I believe YouTube, because of the larger nature of litigations which are coming on YouTube because of the copyright infringement, it is gradually becoming a challenge for them, and people hate that use of commercials. So, to answer the question, I believe any medium where people are active, individuals are actively engaged without too much interference of the companies, it will tend to last and have a stronger example. Sorry, will have a stronger impact on the consumers.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And by the way, it is perceptual, my friend. It's totally perceptual. It's what you perceive. It's not what actually happens. It's perception.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mayank. Yeah, I hope all of you are feeling the same way. So that is part of why we are doing this. And we would like to thank Professor Sharma very, very much. I hope you have had an illuminating and an enlightening experience. Thank you, Professor Sharma, for joining us. And thank you all for joining us as well. So we will post the video on Facebook after some time.
I have one comment. I have a comment. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all young people. You
Okay.
can shape how this nation is going to be tomorrow. First, exercise your franchise. Please vote and vote for the right people.
Thank you very much for
Thanks.
those words, sir. Perfect. And that is actually all from our end. If you have anything to share, you can.
Thank you so much for the. I would like to thank IIMA for this opportunity to interact with the professor, and I guess this was the perfect initiative for us young persons who want to be in the management field for a longer time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Ankur. That is the point of our initiative.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All
just
right, so guys, we are dropping the call.
And this made my
okay.
day. And I'm just like so happy.
Yeah,
It
Thank
did.
we're
It
you.
did.
glad
It
that.
did. It did make a difference.
Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.